that's different. But just go. Other business makes them wonder. But see, if they don't know, they can always come.
No, I haven't.
I wish that same thing.
No, because I was. But I watched it on the internet. No, not really. That's why I'm
I bet. Not so long ago.
Yeah, they made it.
Yes. Yes, the first or y'all first. I don't know.
Let's see if they can see it.
Of course, I used to make that was
I don't know that I realized on 66. So I was no. But I heard now.
Jerry.
And I knew it happened.
You told them. I finished 3 years old.
I teach English. I do. Oh, the job of a VA.
Get your ass in. For the best in the some of them say they're going to get that not the price. The class starts from 2 to 3. So that's
But I mean, that was the main thing.
no, there's Easy Friday.
Well done, Dr. Frank.
every Friday. Just
It'd be a fast meeting on Friday.
Yeah.
26.
Let's wait a few more minutes to allow more people to roll in, and we can get started. Apparently, the 3 o'clock thing is not working out as planned. Maybe the 2 o'clock would have been better, or maybe Jared. We keep listening to Jared. Jared's email.
That's where he played ball.
Next time, I'm gonna put a big old signboard at the entrances saying, blame Jared.
He's got, I see his bag.
Surprise, surprise. Students are not here. I think so. No, not yet. Look at this. Okay, if I may have your attention, maybe we should go ahead and get started and then see how things play along. Again, welcome to the second Dean's Forum. And I was hoping that we will have some students in here today since I skipped them the last time on the email, but this time most of them received the email.
Did you cancel that one?
Did I cancel the meeting?
No, Jared.
Yeah, Jared did. He did not cancel the students, he canceled every other person. So I will not blame him on the students. All right? Again, the purpose of this forum, again, I have to reiterate or reemphasize, is to bring the college faculty, staff, and students together in one setting to promote and enhance interactive collaboration through sharing of ideas, insights, as well as information. That's what this forum is all about. It is where we share some best practices and also get some information that ordinarily will not filter through across campus or across disciplines or departments. So we want to get them through this forum. I do have the deans all over the places. So as you ask questions, we will have the respective deans to be able to identify themselves or come over to the front here and answer the question. In that way, they can be captured. Those people watching it live will be able to see them and get to hear their answer to the questions. I was hoping that we have students here today because one of the things we wanted to talk about was about the campus caring. That has been a lot. I have received a lot of requests from students to shed more light on that, and that's why we have Chief Stone here today. Since we don't have students, but we have faculty and staff, I'm sure that Chief Stone can still brief us on this. And in the process, if we have more students come in, he can do it again. So we can have him over and over again. So Chief Stone, if you want to come over here, please.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
It is Monday, isn't
Yeah.
it? Were any of you at our forum that we had? A few of you were. One thing that we have going right now as far as campus carry, we have put a PowerPoint together, which we are going to be putting on the website that talks about where you can, where you can't. Very informative. We've got a video that's going to go along with that PowerPoint that anybody will be able to access, students, faculty, staff. As a matter of fact, I'm hoping that the faculty will take a little bit of time that first day and actually show that PowerPoint. It probably wouldn't take more than 20 minutes. And basically, it's going to outline where you can and can't carry on our campus. Of course, it starts August 17th. And like anything else, our big deal is letting anyone who has a license to carry, LTC, is going to make sure that they understand their responsibilities with that, because it's a lot of responsibility. And that's our biggest point, is making them understand if you go to the gym, then you can't leave that in a locker. If you carry on campus, it has to be concealed, number one. Campus carry and open carry were passed at the same time, and a lot of people think it's the same law. It's not. You have to, if you carry on campus, it has to be concealed, and at all times while you have it on campus, it has to be within your reach. Basically, if you've got a backpack or if you're carrying it in a purse or whatever it may be, it has to be within your reach at all times. If not, you're breaking the law on that. So that's some of the things that we're going to cover on the PowerPoint. I guess I'm just kind of here today to, the PowerPoint will be up probably right after, here in a couple of weeks after the board meeting. We're waiting for board approval on the policies we've set out, and that should come this meeting, we're hoping. So any questions about campus carry? Jeez.
Yes.
Easy.
I know you had mentioned about, do you think it would be beneficial if like student government, student activities presented some kind of, I guess demonstrate, not presented to the student body, like reserve the fine arts building or something like that, and just have something open and you all present it? You think
Right.
something like that would benefit?
Yeah, and that's, we're working on that
Oh.
actually. So yeah, but I appreciate you bringing that up because I forgot. One thing that we want to do is put out there that, 3 or 4 times a semester, we're gonna have a class. And basically, if you carry on campus and you wanna know all about carrying on campus, please come to this. Please come to this class and let us talk to you about where you can, where you can't, what you can do, what you can't do. But the way most universities are going right now, and the way that we're seeing it leading is basically we have no obligation to afford these people who carry on our campus any type of luxury with that. We're not going to store any weapons on campus. The only people that can store weapons on campus are people who live on campus, which that's 2 people in our whole university or our whole college, I believe, which would be Faith and Joe out at the farm. They can store on campus, but no one else can. So in other words, if you come to campus with your weapon and you have a gym class that day, it's up to you to store that in your vehicle, in your private property. We're not going to allow places for the people to store, because basically you're contradicting the law if you do that. It has to be concealed at all times while it's on campus. And if you're pulling it out to store it or something, and that's when accidents happen. That's when you get your accidental discharges and those type of things. So right now what we have is, as far as living in the dorms, you won't be able to carry. We're going to get away with that. We'll wait till legislation 2019 and see what they do. They may change us on that. But right now, our reason for doing that is 95% of our population there is under 21. They can't carry anyway. And we don't want that 5% making one available to the other 95%. So we're going to push that. A few universities have done it. UT did it to a few of their dorms, but not all of them. And the ones they did on their dorms were the freshman, sophomore dorms. And that was some of the reasoning used, and I think it makes sense. So we're going to push it. Somebody may challenge it, and legislation may change us in 2019. I don't look for any challenges coming up in this session, just because it's so new. I don't think they'll get to it or even want to mess with it this session. But 2019, I look for maybe some amendments to come out and different things. Yes, ma'am.
Would it be beneficial for something like a campus-wide activity forum like Earth Day coming up on the 15th to have some kind of pamphlets or some kind of table for you?
It definitely would be. Probably not Earth Day, because I really want to make sure that the board's going to approve everything we've got right now before I start putting out just a ton of information and see if they want to tweak it in any way or anything. So I'm really a little bit hesitant to put out a ton of information at this time.
Okay.
I think we're going to be fine, but I'd rather wait and make sure we make it official. Yes.
And Paul, what are, on instructors' offices and classrooms, what's the thinking on that?
Well, as far as classrooms, they can carry in your classroom, period, and that's the law. And our AG's already put up with that fight, and he's made it very clear that no, if you take that away, then you're taking away the spirit of the law. We wouldn't even need it. So they can carry in classrooms. There's a few instances where they can't carry in classrooms. Most of that has to do with medical facilities and stuff, research facilities, something that we don't have here. So we're not, you can carry in classrooms. Faculty, on the other hand, and staff, if you have a private office and your office is solely owned by you, or you're the only one who uses that office, we are making it to where you can allow gun-free zone in your office. But also at the same time, if someone's carrying a CHL and they want to meet you and they don't want to take their CHL off, you're going to have to find a place to meet them outside of your office. And so,
Can you say that again, please?
if someone is carrying a weapon, they have a license to carry, LTC now, I keep saying CHL, that's the old term. If they have a license to carry, and your office, you've declared it gun-free, and you've told them, and you have to tell them verbally, and I'd recommend syllabus, putting it in there first day and letting everybody know. If they still want to meet with you, you will have to find a place to meet with them if they don't want to take their gun off to meet with you.
Okay.
And you are more than welcome to come down to our office and meet one of our offices. I'm good with that.
I got a follow-up question though. It's true, right, that campus carry is still, those who have the license, it's called concealed.
It's called license to carry, LTC.
License to carry.
Mm-hmm.
So when one has that license, they can carry it on a campus like Weatherford College, but it's still concealed, is it not?
Yes, it has to be concealed.
Right, it has to be concealed.
Has to be
You
concealed.
don't know that they're.
If you see a weapon, right.
Okay.
If you see a weapon on campus, someone carrying it outside of concealment that's not law enforcement, definitely call us, because they're breaking the law as far as that's concerned.
So you don't know one way or the other?
No.
Normally.
No, and I've had faculty and staff ask me a lot that are going to carry, can we store it in our office? No. Unfortunately, the law says you will have it on or about you at all times, and that's everybody who chooses to carry. So if you do, just be, have it on you.
Nor can you ask them if they're carrying.
No, you cannot, and that's going to be on that PowerPoint too. You cannot ask them if they're carrying. The only people that can do that's law enforcement, and that's another part of that law. Now, why they put that in there, I don't know, unless they just didn't want them picked out, and they don't have to tell you they're carrying. The only people they have to tell that they're carrying is if we approach them and we're dealing with them on something. It's a law that they have to tell law enforcement, hey, I'm a CHL and I've got my gun, or LTC.
What signage will be posted, if any, around campus?
We will have some signage around campus. I know that Katie's working on signage for faculty and staff who chooses not to have it in their office. And again, the office, it gets really specific about it has to be 4 walls that go to the ceiling. It can't be a cubicle, and it can't be shared with anybody else. So it gets real specific on those type things, and all that'll be in the PowerPoint. But the signage, I know Katie's working on different types of signs. We will have signs plastered permanently on the gym and at the ballparks. We will have a few signs that we will be able to put out for special events. Any type of judicial hearings, if you are having a hearing, an appeal from a student or whatever, we'll have signs that we can post outside whatever room y'all choose to have that. They can't carry those into those type of hearings. And we'll have one also for fine arts when we're having fine arts programs down there that we'll be able to post outside.
How about during department faculty meetings?
During department faculty meetings, that's going to be entirely up to y'all to figure out. But no, you can't make that happen. No. If you listen to our AG, no, can't make that happen. But yeah, I know those get a little more heated than anything else, right?
So
That includes academic appeals, though.
Yes,
They won't-
any type of appeal, any type of hearing, which some type of discipline's coming down, or you're questioning the discipline.
Or just academic, let's get.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
All right. Any other
How-
questions?
How about during an interview process, when you are conducting an interview for external candidates?
Mhm.
Can the committee members?
Yes, yes, community members can carry on campus, just like anybody else, but they have to know the law, just like anybody else. It has to be concealed carry.
No, I'm talking about during an interview process. Say if we invite an external candidate for an interview, can members of the committee conceal carry during the process?
Yes,
They can.
yes. Any other questions? I look forward to having a whole lot more of these, and I look forward to getting a couple of weeks, getting the board's approval for what we have going right now. And then after that, I think we'll be ready to share a whole lot more information. All right. Thank you.
Chief Stone, while I still have you right here on the stage, there's something else that came up, but I don't see the students that brought it to me in here. It's about, I kind of mentioned it to you, it's about sanctuary cities
Sanctuary cities.
and Dakar. Do you have any information on this?
I know that Weatherford in Parker County is not a sanctuary city or sanctuary county. I do know that. And as far as what's coming down with legislation and what's coming down with our state reps, they're not having nothing to do with it. So I don't know where that's all going to end up and what's going to happen with these cities who say they're sanctuary cities. I have no clue, but I know right now Weatherford is not declared a sanctuary city, and I don't think there's any cities in Parker County that have, that I know of.
Very good. Thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
you bet.
Okay. The other thing I have, does anyone have a question? Any other question beside what Chief Stone had addressed? Any other question or concern? Or any topic you want to talk about before I move on to the next thing I have? Anything else? Nothing? Okay. I do have something for us to talk about. I was hoping that we have a lot of students in here today, because something that has been coming up over and over, and I've heard this from other people, will be about how to dispel the stigmas of tutoring, because some students don't like to go for tutoring. They feel there is some stigma attached to it. It means that you are not good enough if you go seek for help. So what I want to promote, and what I want us to promote as an institution, is to say that be a tutor and seek a tutor. So you be one and encourage students to seek out one. Tutoring doesn't have to be going through the academic support center. It could be you as a faculty member tutoring somebody during your office hours in your office, making it important to the students, to all your students, letting them know that getting that extra help can help them tremendously, or can take them to the next level, so that we can dispel that stigma of people thinking that if they go for tutoring, it means that they are less capable. No, that's not what tutoring is all about. So I'm going to get that slogan moving amongst the students. I do have a young lady I spoke with this one, the president of the student government. Could you just stand up for a moment, introduce yourself and identify yourself to the group here for that? Go ahead, stand up and introduce yourself.
Oh, Dr. Ebe, okay. Hi, my name is Sierra Christopher, and as Dr. Ebe mentioned, I am the president of student government. And so any ideas that you guys have that could benefit the students here, make the students stay here, their education here better, then just let me know and I'll do it.
Very good. Okay, good. I will try to attend your meeting, when next you guys have your meeting, I'm going to get Kara from Dr. Jefferson, of course, to attend to your meeting to promote this idea of tutoring, that every student should take advantage of it, not necessarily through the academic support center, but having faculty members, including staff members, who are capable and who are willing to engage in that process across campus to help enhance our teaching process of what we do here as an institution. Okay, so be a tutor and seek a tutor. Yes.
Where would that take place, or how would one go about helping and volunteering and doing that?
Well, that's a very good question. We want you to start in your classrooms. I want every faculty member to start in their classroom by letting their students know from day one that there is tutoring available in all the courses, and that if they having difficulties of any sort, that you can even be their tutor.
Oh, okay, just offer
Exactly.
to help as needed.
Exactly.
If and when needed.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
I do know that some institutions do have the program whereby faculty members, group of faculty members will gather in a setting during their office hour, and they will use that time to tutor students. So it could be maybe in a room such as this, we could have 4 or 5 faculty members sitting here, students coming to them for tutoring, things like that. And it's been popularized in a lot of institutions, and I want us to implement the same thing here on campus, a way to reach out to our students and let them know that we are available for them and that they can do better.
We have that space, and of course it's down in Alkek Fine Arts Center, but so it's kind of remote for a lot of people, but it's available all the time, and it's a nice space with computers and tables.
Definitely.
It's available.
Very good.
Like I said, all the time. It's, there's no classes in
Very
there.
good.
107.
Very good.
Everybody can use for office hours or tutoring or appointments.
Very good. Thank you, Cal. That's a good one. It's a good gesture.
Kind of like art used to be.
All right. The other thing we do have is the hunger awareness on campus. We do have students, some of our students who are going hungry, and sometimes you don't even know they're hungry. If you, as a faculty member, you show up in your classroom 8 o'clock in the morning, and you have students within 5 minutes of class time, they fall asleep, they are sleeping. You have an obligation to be able to talk to those students and inquire a little bit more. Sometimes it's because the student did not have dinner, no breakfast before coming to school. Maybe they were hungry, that's why they're sleeping through your classroom. There are a lot of signs that we take for granted. We do not take it upon ourselves to inquire a little further to find out or seek out these students who are in their need. We met here some few weeks ago. There was a meeting. I called a meeting of some few people around campus to talk about this, to address it. Of course, Dr. Jefferson was among those, and Kale and Drum and a few other people. We met to talk about this. And during the discussion, I come to realize that they even met. They had met even some weeks prior to my calling this meeting to address this issue. And then, of course, again, last Friday, there was a meeting here on campus of Kale and Drum called that meeting. She invited a lot of people from the CPS, right? That's what they call them? Yeah, CPS. And Child Protective Services, just to talk about students or kids who are aging out of foster care homes and who find themselves in colleges and some other places, homeless and hungry and inability to finish school, things like that. See, try to find way whereby we as an institution can identify these students and be able to offer some assistance or help in collaboration with the CPS individuals. And so through these few weeks of my poking my nose into these various things, I come to realize that John Tontine, one of our own, has, because I was talking about setting up, finding how we can set up maybe a pantry where we can provide food to some of these kids who are homeless. Come to find out that John Tontine is already doing this on his own through his office. And we are seeking ways to expand upon it. And one of the things that got me interested in the hunger situation and identifying students who are in need was through my nutrition class over the years that I've been teaching nutrition here on Weatherford College. There is something, a topic that I teach is called global hunger or world hunger. Whenever we get to that topic, I have my students do some research on it. A lot of them go out looking at third world countries where there's hunger. Then I'll bring them back to the classroom to have them to look a little closer at home. And through that process, we realize, they come to realize that there's a lot of hunger, even here in the United States, even here in Texas, here in Weatherford, in their own backyard, even next to them on campus. And giving them the opportunity to be able to seek out someone, maybe their classmates, or someone that is hungry, that is homeless, and find ways that we can help. Through that class of mine, I have identified several students over the course of the years who were homeless and hungry, who come to school every day hungry. And people will tell you that when you, as a faculty member, when I was teaching, that my office, I have students line up the hallway coming to see me. But the secret is this. Half of those students are students that identified because they are hungry or they have other issues. That through trust, we build a trust that I come to help and assist them in so many different capacities. That's what they come to see me for. It becomes very personal to me that I must tell the story to the rest of the campus and let us as a community embrace this challenge. Find way we can identify these students and help out. When one is hungry, it affects everything you do in life. It affects your education. It affects your health. It affects your ability to reach your potentials in life. And we can spend little money here and there to intervene that will save us money at the long run. Because at the long run, they might wind up being homeless or mental institution, and that will cost the state or every one of us more money in the long run. And one of the statistics that just came out just last week about homelessness in Parker County and Tarrant County combined. They have more than 9,000 people who are homeless, and the highest population among those that is fast and rising are kids, children, who age out of foster care homes, have nowhere to go. And some of those kids, you probably have here in Weatherford College, and you don't even know. Some of them are kids in your classroom that are struggling, you don't even know. Chances are, if you identify those kids, you can change their lives. It's a sacred trust. When you identify them, they will place that trust in you, and you have to work very hard to see to their success. And I want us to champion that cause and that goal as an institution. One student at a time. I want you guys to take up that challenge. Dr. Jefferson, do you have anything to add to my comment?
Well, let's just say several years ago, we had this one student. When he would finish his classes, our property right across the street behind the baseball field, he had a tent. That's where he lived. So we got help for him. And some other students that we have, they don't have homes. They pretty much live at Walmart because it stays open all night. So there is a need, and we, like I said, we are working on that. So if you have any idea of any students, like he said, John, we're working on. If you have any like deodorant, soap, different things of that nature, we're starting that supply of non-perishable goods that we are trying to make available for students. Ramen noodles, soups, anything of that nature, what you have. But we are working on that, and as soon as Kay and I, we get all this foster care. Like he said, a lot of them, the students who are coming out of foster care, we have one student now who lives in a county village. He's taking care of his responsibility. There are funds available through CASA and CPS, as he said. So there is help. We just they need to be identified so that we can get the proper help for them.
Do you recommend that we send them to your office?
I would, yes.
Any other comment? Yes.
Alex, along those lines,
Yes.
Several years ago when I was teaching a psychology class in the afternoon, I had some students who were driving up from Stephenville, and at the first meeting or two, one of them was going to sleep, and I'd call him after class. I said, "We got to, what's going on here?" Well, what was going on was that he was working until 2 o'clock in the morning, and if he didn't work, his family was losing his house. He had a mother who was unable to work, and a daughter, a sister who was an invalid. And so I think we need to, there's just all kinds of needs out there that we don't always catch. And in every opportunity that we have to identify some way we can help a student like that. Now, they still have to perform in class, but I think the more that, rather than just get angry, if we can try to understand what's going on with in that student's life, I think that student graduated from Weatherford College because they finally felt like, and I shared with some of their other instructors that what was going on, and so they didn't cut them any slack, but they just were aware of it. And I think a lot of times if you're just aware of the situation, sometimes it's beneficial to the student.
Definitely. Right. Thank you. Any other comment? All right. Something else of importance that we need to talk about that came up during our last forum was about professional development. Of course, Duret brought up the issue about professional development. And then, of course, Dr. Jefferson also commented on that, about bringing professional development to Weatherford campus. We know that professional development is important in what we do as an institution. Yeah, it is very important in what we do as an institution. And as such, we are going to be placing more emphasis on this. We are going to find ways to bring professional development to you. Dana Brewer, Dr. Brewer, and I have been talking about this, and I would like her to address this a little briefly. So, Dr. Brewer.
Okay.
Yeah, go to the front.
Oh. The camera.
Yeah, you come to the camera. Yeah, sure. Yeah, come before the camera.
I didn't think about that. No, I think the camera today.
Be careful, don't trip.
Well, I think that there are a number of different ways, and I know that there are, history has been doing a couple of different activities on campus, which I think are really good for, here on the main campus, which I think are really good for, if nothing else, getting faculty sort of involved in more of a professional dialogue. And in the spirit of something like that, we can certainly engage in more professional development activities that do not necessarily have to cost money. There are a lot of webinars. I know we all probably get tons of those, mostly from publishers, I'm sure, but also different types of programs. One of the ones that I work with for assessment through Leap Texas, actually LiveTex has a number of different activities that they use online. But also trying to, and it's interesting too, with different campuses, with Wise County and Granbury, trying to figure out how to get everybody together. I'm sure these capabilities are at those campuses as well, right? So that, which would be excellent to promote, doing activities over there that are recorded and then broadcast either in here or a different room, so that we can all, I know we used to have meetings, Matt, where you were kind of broadcast in from out of the way, and sometimes it would, go dark. So, but something along those lines I think would be good too, and we can, kind of all get together. But I know everybody has, I'm sure people have ideas, and I know that as a faculty member, one of our points on our evaluation is that we're supposed to comment on professional development, which can be a little tricky when you're not quite sure where those resources are. So even being more communicative about where some of those can be, repository of some sort, I think could be really good, but and useful. So.
Go ahead, any question? Do you have any question? Any follow-up question on the professional development or concern that you may have about professional development?
What my department's been doing with social sciences, where we've done these little presentations and panels and all of that, generally I found the faculty, when they get involved in that, they get kind of excited.
Mm-hmm.
For example, Dr. Flanagan did one just before this. He finally got to talk about his dissertation. The only other time he got to talk about his dissertation was when he defended it, which is a horrific experience. You feel pretty bad by the end of it.
Yeah, that's not a fun time to talk
But
about
here
it.
you can actually show up, because you are in fact the genius, and no one else knows it. So that's an opportunity for, and I went in there and I learned a lot of things. I enjoyed it. And people talk about faculty burnout. Well, that's something to do different than just teach your classes all the same classes all the time. So it's not really a question, it's like.
Yes.
And to add to that, what your department is doing, if someone who is not from the social sciences department attends one of those sessions, you can equally count it as part of your professional development. We will give you credit for that as part of your professional development. So in other words, we want some more active participation. We want you to support. This is where the collaboration, the interactive collaboration comes into play. So when you attend such engagements or forum that the social sciences is puts up, then you get credit for it. So we encourage you to participate in those areas.
And it doesn't have to just be the week, in-service week, is it in the fall or the spring or whenever, but also, throughout the year, certainly, and identifying needs. I think departments sometimes know a little bit more about what interests people, or isn't somebody having a book published? Did I hear that? Somebody, I thought.
Dr. Trickett was.
Dr. Trickett. Oh, he has a chapter. Okay, right. Well,
Sigler.
and he could talk about that too.
Bill Sigler's on the start.
Okay. So, right, and an opportunity to, certainly learn, and then I know if you fill out your form on trying to get up to the next level
In terms of
for your faculty
ranking.
title.
Yeah.
Yes, I think that there's a spot on there for presenting, and of course there's a spot on there for attending, so there's that as well.
That's
But
correct.
anyway.
So presenting and attending, you get credit for it, yes.
Is there a way to archive those videos rather than YouTube, where you have to go through and search. If we could archive those and not put his feet, so you could go in and view it, and then, I don't know, get a certificate some way. Because there are conflicts, but if they were archived, it would be more useful.
Yeah, very good.
We had
Very
people that
very
watched the
good.
pan, we had a crazy guy who emailed all the people and ranted and raving about crazy stuff. Oddly enough. It wasn't real crazy, he's complimentary.
Good, that's good,
And he
yeah.
wants to talk about the book he published at no rights.
Okay. But, take that, no, I was just telling you that her point, Dr. Atkins' point is well noted.
Yes.
That's what I mean, yeah.
Yes, about archiving and keeping track with them. When we did the assessment training in January, everybody should have received a certificate that said that you had participated, which would be professional development. If you didn't, then either let me or Lee Butler know, and we'll make sure that you get the, it was actually a really nice certificate, but yeah, you get the little certificate, and then you can write that
We
down.
want you to keep track of your professional development, because you will need it when the time comes for you to seek for your advancement in title, so something like that. Oh, and by the way, we are looking forward to math professional development on campus. So, Ms. Brown, we're waiting for yours. Thank you. I just have to say that. I always say something about Ms. Brown, my favorite person in the whole world. Anyways, any question or any other question before we run out of time? Question? All right. How about, is everyone here okay with 3 p.m. or do you want us to go back to 2 p.m.? Apparently, it's like we had more response for 2 p.m. than for 3 p.m. So do you want to go back to 2 p.m.? Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you. So for the next forum, which is going to be April 24th, the last one for the semester, April 24th, it's going to be 2 p.m. here in this same room. All right? And any, yes, Doc.
I just want to add one more thing in line with food insecurities, but also if you notice of any students who are just having problems, you can either send them to Phyllis Tiffin or myself, we're certified, and we also have other LPCs on campus who can help deal with that or refer out. But if you see students, because we've been having a lot lately who's dealing with either drug issues or their parents passing away or losing loved ones. So we have been dealing a lot with that, or losing jobs. So if you have any issues with any students, either send them to Phyllis Tiffin or myself.
Okay, very good. In that, just one more thing in that regards. If you have these students, they send you an email, say, oh, I cannot come to class, or the reason I missed test, or the reason I've missed class for 1 week is because I lost my parents, or this happened. You can always reply back to them, telling them, so, okay, I'm sorry for your loss, but if you need any help of some sort, if you want to talk to a counselor, we can make that available to you here on campus. Always extend that courtesy to them and see if they will accept it or not. All right? Okay. All right. Sierra, thank you for showing up today. And Daphne also over there. Daphne was my student as well. Nice to have you, Daphne. All right? Okay. If there are no other things to discuss, we can. Again, I will appreciate if you think about something very interesting and send them to me anytime you think of them, then I can have them for the next forum. Okay? I'm sure you have a lot of interesting stuff, just that you can't think of them right now. But I know whenever it comes to you, when you have that aha moment, write it and send me the email, and we will talk about it. So sharing of ideas and insights and information is very, very important. And I thank you very much for showing up today, and we see you again next time, same room. Thank you.
Yes.